Introducing the Powder Vibe 2.0. Hi there, I'm Scott Bowens and I invented the Powder Vibe system, and I'm here to explain to you the change that the Powder Vibe system has gone through recently. You see, the change all revolves around the power unit that drives the system. This is what gives the vibe the vibes that's necessary to let the powder flow. You see, this is an Oral-B Hummingbird flosser. It's a nice little compact unit with a battery on board, a little switch, and a little motor to drive the system. And it was something that was easy to buy off the shelf, modify for my own purpose, and end up actually being able to invent the Powder Vibe system, because I had no way, before I found this, of getting those vibrations. No satisfactory way. It was either build it myself or modify something, and I hadn't really figured out any way to build it myself. So this is what we started with. These are no longer available. Oral-B has discontinued this product, and it's quickly disappearing from all the stock in the stores, the outlets that we get our supplies from. So I was left with two choices. One, I could abandon the line completely. Well, abandoning the line completely and just letting the tool die is not a very satisfactory choice for me. Or two, I could redesign this and build one myself, not rely on a product from a store. So that's what I did. Should have done it in the original time, but actually I couldn't have. So now being forced into a position where I have to, that's sometimes the time when creativity flows, and this is the result. You hold it like you would a pen, instead of the method you used for this, which was to take the tip, put it on here, and then you kind of had to do this to push the button, and you kind of had to support the tool somehow. So you had to do this or something. It was a little bit awkward, but that's a result of the product that I actually started with. So I had some requests for something a little more pen-like, and it seemed the appropriate thing to do during a redesign, and this is the result. Now, let me tell you something else. I had a criteria of things that I needed to fulfill in order to make this the appropriate tool to move on with as far as the product line was concerned. Maybe I should just read it to you. The new power unit needs to be designed so that it is better than the original, that I can make it without much new tooling costs, that it doesn't rely on some product that is subject to possible discontinuation in the future, that will work with the same Powder Vibe tips as the original, that is comfortable to use in the other hand, that looks good, that is sensitive in its switch, and that switch is easy to use, that it has a low and a high power setting, that it's battery operated, not tethered, that it can be fixed if necessary, and that I can feel good about guaranteeing it. I nailed them all. And I'm really happy to show you this new tool, because I'm very proud of it. I think I've encapsulated all of those necessary items in a pen shape fashion with a sensitive switch that is kind of unique. Let me show you. Alright, I'm going to use a vertical camera angle here because it makes it a little easier for me to show you what the Powder Vibe 2.0 is all about. Well, let's get this guy out of the picture. He's no longer in it. Alright, the Powder Vibe 2.0, and that switch I was really interested to show you. Now that switch is right here. You kind of see the edge of it, but it's actually this whole area that's rotating around. Okay, and here's the other side of it. So all along here, this whole area is actually like, I would describe it as like a bud leaf coming out of a stem. Okay, and it's held apart by its design from the barrel. So this pressure that I'm going to show you here, just a little bit of pressure, is going to close that bud leaf against the stem. Now I'm actuating it right here. You kind of see it moving slightly. Just kind of tweaking. Or if you bend it on the other side, it tweaks it kind of the other way. So it makes a contact wherever you're pressing. I can press over here, over on the other side, in the middle, anywhere along that bud leaf. I'm going to depress it and it'll make contact with the barrel. Okay, that is the switch, and it's not going to wear out because of the curvature of the metal causes it to tweak and make the connection, but it won't bend very far because it's close in. So it's not going to bend and stay bent and stay on or anything like that. It'll always return to its normal shape, and the whole contact point here is amazing. You're never going to find a switch that's as sleek and simple in its design as this, because the whole huge contact point here is going to be available to you. Okay? It'll never wear out. The metal has to be gone for it to wear out. Okay, that's the switch. Now, different things about the tool. You've got your regular tips that click onto it. It's magnetized, just like the original. You've got also, the original didn't have what I'm about to show you, which is, okay, the tip is on there and it'll stay on there, and most purposes it's never going to tweak like that. But you might want to hold it down a little bit farther for a little more control, and whoa, that is not something that you want to have happen while you're, I'm getting right in there, and then, that's going to mess up your work. So I've designed it so that with a little bit of pressure right here on the magnet, you can push it down inside. First, pull back the battery cap, because you need to allow the battery to slide back a little bit more, and you don't want to have to push against the cap. So slide the battery cap back a little bit and push the magnet slightly down, and then slide the cap back so it's snug. Then you're set to go, and you have a little bit of a recess here. You see that there's, let's see, get the focus. See how that's now inset, that magnet? That's going to allow you to take the tool and it clicks inside. So now, when you are holding it down here, your thumb can't collapse it, can't bend the magnet. Okay? You're going to have a nice, very firm, and the trigger, the switch is right here under my fingertip right here. So look how close I can get to the tip, and I can work just like I would a pen. Why didn't I just design it to be like that from the get-go? Well, I have other tips to consider. I've got these tips right here. Okay? They won't fit inside that tube. So I need to have it be able to be flush or inset in order to lock for the small ones. And the larger ones, you're not going to hold it down here anyway, because that's where it gets bigger. It's just not comfortable to hold it there. So the collapsing part is not that big an issue. And the magnet on the larger tube is even more strong than this one. So it holds better to begin with. So how do you get it back to being flush instead of being inset? All you need to do is just put it on the table and push down until it's flush again. Okay, now it's flush. So that's a nice feature, the locking mechanism. Now let me show you the battery. Just take the battery, stick it in here. It'll hold it even upside down, and then just slide that on until the connection is made. And now I'm ready to go. Now, what is this tube here for? And you're wondering, hey, I thought he said it had to be a low and a high speed. Well, this is regular. This is one AAA battery, as I just showed you, but you can actually use two AAA batteries and this longer tube. You put one battery in here, notice the little spring action, and you put the other battery in here. You close them up until it's nice and snug against the main unit. You'll feel it stop, and then it's a little longer, but it's got the same action. But do you hear how much more of a vibration you get? That's your extra power. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to check out my new product change, and I hope I've impressed you. I hope I've impressed you half as much as I impressed myself with it, because, man, I really think it came out slick. I'm really happy with it, and I think you will be too. So, if you need more information, go to our website, barefootart.com. That's www.barefootart.com. That's bear like the animal, not bear like your bare feet. It's BEARFOOTART. Barefootart.com.